So the About My Child worksheet, we will send you. It's also on the resource page of the Selective Mutism Center.org. And it's great because you can personalize it. And I love what you just said, Kelly. It's like, paint this as a positive. Our kids are great drawers, great in math, great at sports, great at a million things, but using words can sometimes be hard. And so that's what the outside world says. I like to change it to, like, use your words, like difficulty using words don't come out versus selective mutism, because that's a term that's just confusing. And to me, I don't like that name.
It's almost like they're choosing it.
Yeah, choosing, refusing. It's a bad name for this. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't describe what's actually going on. That it's a social communication anxiety, and there's factors into why, and respecting where they're at. And these kids do great. There was something else about what do we do when kids say, "Why don't you talk?" You're going to school, and did you want to say something, Elena?
I don't know if any other parents had that question, but I know.
No, I know.
Definitely did.
Yeah.
So one question, I go into the school about every other week. The teacher last year let me come in and just help out in the classroom. And one question I often get from the other children is, why doesn't Ari speak at school? And their intentions are, pure-hearted. They just want to be his buddy and hang out with him and talk to him and play. And he is super, for him, and again, every child with SM is different. He doesn't present with like an anxious, he's very comfortable in the school setting, like visibly.
So he has the speech phobia presentation where he's stuck against the nonverbal wall.
Right. I mean, he almost comes across like the class clown. Like, he's not afraid to be in front of the class and do things or be full of personality. It's just the words won't come out. But the other children often ask me this question when he's there, or ask him directly. And he has said to me, outside of the setting, why I don't like when they ask me that, because it just adds that extra pressure, and I don't know how to stop that.
So two parts to that. Yeah, I hear you. Two parts. One is his involvement in this. So I've had kids in session where I'll say, let's make pretend and let's write a letter. Let's write a letter to these kids that are asking you. And usually they isolate a few. And if you just wrote a letter, you don't need to send the letter. What would you want to tell them? And the reason I say that, to write it if they can, is because it gets it out easier. If they can tell you or draw a picture, if your child's very young, 6, I'm not sure, writing a lot. So drawing a picture and maybe describing to you, like, what would he want them to know?
Okay.
Go ahead.
And to kind of build on that, would you then take that and sort of educate the class? Like, would you go into class and help communicate what?
So then the other side of it is, sometimes if it's really bad and everyone's doing it and asking the question, we will actually encourage the teacher to talk about it if your son is comfortable. Your son may not want to be there. Your son may want to be there. So again, I involve him. He's 8, right? And it could be that everyone has something that's a little scary or hard for them to do. Does anybody have anything scary or hard for them to do? And then you get the precocious ones that go, I'm scared of when my dad goes really far away and flies on an airplane. Someone, I'm scared of monsters. I'm scared of the dark. I'm scared of bridges. And then it's like, okay, well, Ari, it can be kind of scary for him to use his words. And because you're scared of monsters and you're scared of the dark, we don't want to talk about that a lot. We don't keep reminding you of that. So with Ari, look at all that he can do. He's a great helper. He's great at puzzles. He helps, you know what I mean? He's so friendly and he's funny. And you kind of have the teacher kind of relate it to them.
Okay.
And then that appeals to the children's empathy.
Yeah, for sure.
Does that help?
Yeah.
I also used your book, I guess, your daughter,
Unspoken Words, yeah.
from her point of view, why, like, I don't talk, and the teacher read that out loud.
Yep.
It depends on the age, of course, because an older student is going to be kind of, but yeah, so when he was young, we did that. I sent that in and let it be up to the teacher to decide the right time. So it's not like a weird, hey, we're going to,
be involved.
Yes.
And I love
Yes.
it because that's why Sophie wrote that book. When
Yes.
she was young and doing her 13-year-old mitzvah project for her bat mitzvah, she wanted others to understand what she felt. So Unspoken Words, which is obviously the name of my podcast, was a way for her to say, this is what I'm feeling without using words. So when I'm in music class and I cover my ears, it's not because I don't like it, it's because it's too loud. Or if I don't want to go to school in the morning one day, it's not because I don't like school, it's because I don't want to do a report. Or I don't want, you see what I mean? Or I don't like gym class. So it's her way of describing what she really was trying to say, her unspoken words. And you're right, that we read that to the kids at camp, by the way. So we've had kids write their own unspoken words. So I think what you're hearing is it's about helping these kids feel in control, acknowledge that this is scary and hard, and what can we do? What would you want your teacher to know? Instead of let's tell your teacher this. It's amazing how when we think of it from that perspective, it's demystifying it. A big part of treatment is acknowledging it. This is hard or scary, but also assessing it. Like it's hard. It's like a 5 out of 5 or a 3 out of 3 or, really involving them. When they did the research on SCAT, what they noticed was it was a lot about transferring control to the child. Instead of the world telling the kids what they need to do and how to do it, you need to do this, you should do that, let's be brave to do that. Let's get them involved in their treatment. Let's get them involved in understanding what they're doing. Let's teach them the bridge and where they are on the bridge and how would you want your teacher to know, and really involve them. And that gives them a sense of confidence and independence, which only fuels social communication growth. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I think sometimes to that point, when I try to talk with my daughter in the past, it tends to be in inopportune times, like on the way to school.
That's great. Cars and bed. When you're laying and saying stories are the best times.
And what I found with her, and I think maybe on the way to school, my approach hasn't been right after learning what I'm learning already this week or this weekend. I don't always think, it seems like she doesn't want to talk about it that much. She doesn't open up about it.
She doesn't understand.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if they're like, I guess I just need to have some better conversations with her, if there are strategies to we haven't really had the conversation like, hey, we understand you have a difficult time using your words, and we've talked about it kind of beating around the bush, but she kind of clamps up when we do.
So we don't have adults that understand this, right? Teachers don't often understand. Professionals have a tough time. I mean, how many times do you hear, I took my child to a professional and they didn't know what to do? They don't understand it. So how can we expect a 6-year-old? And they don't get their feelings. So one of the beautiful things about the bridge and one of the beautiful things about feelings is that it can be hard or scary. So it can be scary when we walk into a new place. Like when we go to the store and it's really loud, that can make us feel a little nervous. So giving them examples of their feelings more than explaining this whole thing is more specific to them, really relates. Like when someone comes up to you and asks you your name, that can be what do you think? That could be a little scary, but what if we did it this way? So kind of talking about the bridge, you're able to do this. Look at all that you are doing, and we're working towards doing this. For the family that says, don't worry, you never have to talk, that makes my blood curdle because that's not the message. The message is this is really hard and scary, but we're working towards it so it's not hard and scary.